Let us study applet life cycle today. Every Java applet undergoes the following states in its life cycle. Fine. So last time when we executed applet in the beginning, you remember it was applet not initialized error. So that means applet was. Can you just keep the door open? Let's see whether we get signal by that. Fine. The first state is born or initialize. Born or the birth of the applet occurs automatically the moment you say applet viewer file name.java. It automatically gets born. Fine. You don't have to say start like thread here. It automatically gets born. Initialization also happens automatically, but many of the times when programmer desires and have the need, he will be initializing few things. And that initialization can be controlled by one method called as init method. Which is that method? Init method. So this is the first step, stage, born or initialization. It gets a shape or whatever properties it has to acquire. Second is running state. Uh, Even this exclusively, you don't have to call any run method. You don't have to define run method. These all are the internal states. Clear? So second state is running state. As far as applet is visible to the user, it will be in the running state. Then idle state. If the user is not interacting with applet. Now in the last applet, we have just displayed hello message. Did we interact with the applet? No, it was just displaying a message. There was no input given by the user, or it was not giving any output based on user input. Clear? Daneshwari or Ganeshwari, pay attention. Now I will not warn, I will send you people out straight away. Now, so idle state is the state when the applet is running but non-interactive. Clear? Next is dead or destroyed state. This is when you stop or the close or you close the applet window. It will get closed. Clear? Now let us see with the diagram. Born state. It begins when the applet is loaded, it is born. Then automatically initialization happens, but if you want, you call init method. Clear? From the born or initialization stage, it goes to running. Here, automatically one inner method gets called as start. There is a similarity between this and thread. That's why people might get confused. Fine. This start method normally we don't call exclusively, it gets automatically called. But if you call, then you can have some lines. If you want to display something at the start, you can do that. Fine. But yeah, of course, it will get displayed only when it enters running state. From running, actually running means whenever you display something, you call paint method. And you know, paint we called only once here because we wanted to display static message. Now what if when the user gives any value and then you calculate and then you display? Because in the beginning your screen is like enter the number to the user. After you accept the number, you are going to calculate something in the applet and then again you're going to display the output on the applet screen. That time you will be painting it again. In that case, when you have to repaint the screen, when you have to change the output of the screen, that time you call repaint method many of the times. Clear? So paint and repaint. Paint is only when you have to display the screen only once. Clear? Repaint, sometimes you have to repeatedly change, then you call repaint method. Clear? Yeah. So here paint and repaint both are one and the same. You display something. From that you Stop in the sense actually it becomes non-interactive, not actually stop. It goes to idle state. Only when you close, it will be destroyed or dead state. Clear? Yeah. So there are methods: stop, start method, stop method. Yeah. Start. Go. Let's go in the sequence. Start, init, paint, stop, destroy. Clear? Start, init, paint, stop, destroy. Fine. Destroy will remove all the variable contents or whatever parameters are initialized, that it will swiped off or flush. Clear? So diagram is easy. Born state, running state, idle state, dead state. Only 4 states are there, but these methods are important. This diagram is very, very important exam point of view. Prepare it today itself. Clear? Yeah. Now, let's see theoretical explanation. Applet enters the initialization state when it is first loaded. This is achieved by calling which method? Init method. Applet is born at this stage. We may do following things. Create objects needed by the applet. Set up initial values. Second last boy. Load images or fonts. So when you have to set up the font, you have to, or change the font, you have to set it in the init method. Fine. Then set up colors. The initialization occurs only once in the applet's life cycle. Running state. Applet enters running state when the system calls automatically. This occurs automatically after the applet is initialized. Unlike init method, the start method may be called more than once. Start, restart, start, restart, it happens. Idle or stopped. Applet becomes idle when it is stopped from running. Stopping occurs automatically when we leave the page containing the currently running applet. Sometimes applet may be running behind. When we leave that page or put it in the background, that time also it is in idle state. Clear? It happens normally in case of execution. Students are used to they run at the terminal. Now, how do you execute Java program? You say Java and the program name. And once the program executes, you see the output there only. And you assume command prompt is ready to accept the input for the next program, isn't it? Here it doesn't happen so. When you say applet viewer, what actually opens is GUI window, and as per your regular this one routine, what do? You go to type the next program there, but applet viewer will be still running without returning to command prompt. Why? Because in the background applet window is open. Only when you close, then only you can execute the next program. So many of the times you send the applet in the background in idle state. Remember that. Fine. We can also do so by calling the stop method explicitly. Actually, it happens automatically, but if you want to do explicitly, you can use this method. Next is dead state. Applet is said to be dead when it is removed from the memory. This occurs automatically when we call destroy method or when we quit the browser. Close window. Clear? Display state. Applet moves to the display state. Actually, it is in between. Fine. In the sequence, it should be before idle. Fine. From after the running. Whenever it has to perform some output operation, the paint method is called to do this. So remember, display means paint. Fine. Yeah. So this creating executable applet, last time I already told you. The other method I'll tell you now. One method I have told, that is using this applet. Clear? Now second method is, what you have to do is you have to create a HTML page like this. Fine. So let us see that. But only problem here is now I'll have to little work on it. Earlier we used to execute Java programs in Windows, in Java C editor there. Now we execute it in Ubuntu, but in Ubuntu I have to check to open this HTML file and all browsers, and I don't know whether they are configured in my Ubuntu. So I will just demonstrate it in the next class. I'll try it once. Yeah. Now let us see additional program. Now slowly we are going to go reach our journal program, which is actually the most complicated one. Why it is complicated? Because it has to evolve through many stages. So first, now we have learned static applet, which just displays the output on the screen. Now let us see how to accept input from the user. Clear? There are two ways again. To accept the input from the user, one is directly you take the variable, initialize them. Actually, we are not accepting from the user. We are initializing the variables directly. Yeah, there are two ways. What? One is you can accept the parameter. It is similar to command line arguments. Not exactly, little bit similar. One method is accept it through parameters. So from HTML file, you will be passing parameter that goes to applet, gets substituted in the variable, and you execute. For example, there is an applet to add two numbers. One method directly, you initialize the variables, you add the numbers, but every time it is going to add the same numbers, which you are going to use to initialize the variables. Suppose you want to change it every time you execute. One method is through your HTML page, you are passing it through parameters. So, you know, as you have applet tag, similarly, there is one tag called as param tag. Which tag? Param tag, through which you will be passing the values. Clear? So, through param tag, the values which you pass, that can be accepted, fetched through one method called as get parameter. Param tag, pass the values, you fetch them using get parameter in the applet. Once you fetch, you can perform addition and display the output. One method, clear? I'll be demonstrating that. Second method, you will be creating a GUI component in the sense. Now you have this Windows environment. You know, how do you log in? When you have no background music required, please. Yeah. So, when you shut down or log off, how do I show you? Okay, best thing is calculator. Now here, this is in the form of GUI. Here it is not visible, but you have one box here which is displaying the output. The moment I click, see this box is changing its, you're going to do this program. Fine? Calculator, simple calculator using applet. So here you have buttons. The moment buttons have got some captions, I'm using those terms which you are actually going to use. Buttons have got some captions or text. Fine. The moment you click on a button, this is a text field or a label which is changing the content. The difference between text field and a label is, okay, let me show you through this. Now here, you can type something. Can you see this here? Font. So this is actually, it is a list box. So these are GUI components. It's a drop down list box. Similarly, when you log in, you get a box, blank box where the cursor blinks. That is called as a text box or text field. In case of Java, it is called as text field. So each of these are GUI components. What are they? GUI components. Now each GUI component has got its own property, its own methods. So when one GUI component called as text field has its own defined properties and methods, then what must be the text field technically in Java? What is that which is associated with properties and methods? Which contains properties and methods? Class. So every GUI component which you use, example, one GUI component is text field, another GUI component, when you say login, you click on a button. So button is one more GUI component. Label, The one which just says enter username, enter password, which there you can't click and change. You can't say enter username, say enter something like, you can't change that. So that is label. The one which you can change is text field. So remember these names. These are GUI components. Label, text field, button, list box. Fine. Then you have something called as to select between two. If you have filled any online registration form, you must have done for many to register with any website like Facebook and all, that form is required. So to choose between gender, male and female, you have used something, small buttons, they are called as option buttons. Clear? Then to check, to show your hobbies, you must have used something, some square small boxes which the moment you click they are checked, and they are like on and off buttons. The moment you again click, they will get unchecked. Those are check boxes. All these components, you are going to widely use them in the next semester. You will begin with those programs. But for that, you require background of this journal program. That time 100 times I'll be telling, last semester you have studied this, but blank faces. So now only I'm warning you. If I'm going to teach you, I will make you study it on your own. Clear? Yeah. So, take all these are GUI components through which you will be working with user input, and your journal program tells us to do that. So that means you understand now how much you have to learn to reach your journal program. Clear with that? You have to accept the numbers. You have to accept generate student mark sheet. That means student name, registration number, his marks, everything you are going to accept through text fields. Then you will have to have a button. The moment you click on a button, it should automatically calculate student's result and it should display. All this you should be able to do. So we will start from addition of two numbers program. First, we will do addition of two numbers program just by initializing variables. Clear? Yeah. So let us see. As usual, which two packages we have imported? AWT and Applet. What is the name of the class? Sum app. Extends applet as usual. We have paint method. You may say why we have not used initialize method, because we are initializing. Here there is little flexibility. If you have very less thing to initialize, you can directly initialize in the paint also. But in case of text field components and all, you must do them in init method. Clear? Now, I have taken two integer variables. Data types are same here, don't worry, because it is Java only. Fine. A initialized to 20, B initialized to 40. We have sum calculated in which variable? Sum. Now, in case of Java, you would have directly displayed system.out.println sum is equal to plus sum. Fine. Because you didn't bother there. This is a string. And actually, when you say plus sum, that sum was integer variable. There in Java, it automatically typecasted for you. You never realize that. Because one string variable and one string value and one integer variable, Java automatically converted it to string, it concatenated without any problem, it displayed the sentence to you. But that doesn't happen in applet. In applet, by default, whatever input you accept from the user will be in the form of string. Whatever you display, because you're displaying through which method? Which method you are using to display? Inside paint. Which specific method you use? Draw string. The name itself says what should be the data type required? String. Because you are saying draw string. Compulsorily whatever output you display should be of the data type string. If you display integer value there, display sum, it will not do on its own like your normal Java applications. You have to exclusively typecast. And you know, from the string class, we learned some methods. From string class, we learned the methods. Can you name few? Length, two uppercase, two lowercase, char at, index of, whatever. Clear? Similarly, there was one method called as value of. I have given in the notes. What does that value of method do? It will convert from integer to string. So far you know string to integer. Can you tell me which is that method? Very good. What was that? Integer dot parse it. But remember, what is that integer there? Class, wrapper class. You remember integer is a class name. What is that? Parse int is a method that converts. Because it belongs to integer class, we say integer dot parse it. It has become our, what you can say, like a table. Without realizing children by heart table, but later they realize when they grow up, what is that table actually? Integer dot parseInt you learned, but now you understand what is it. Fine. Anyway, similarly, reverse string integer ka string. Which is that method? Value of belongs to which class? String. So string dot value of does what? Converts integer to string. Why it is required? Because applet cannot display any other thing than string. So whatever calculations you do in applet and you have to display it using drawstring, you must convert it to string using string dot value of. So let us see how do we do that. See, whatever we have to display, actually we could display directly here. But to simplify, okay, to ease, what I have done is I have taken one string variable. Fine. And that string variable I am going to concatenate. What I am going to concatenate the message which I want to give it to the user. What message I want to give it to the user? Sum. Because you should understand what is that number I am displaying. Sum is equal to or colon, double quote complete, plus I have to attach the variable sum content. Clear? But I can't attach directly, it will give you error. What I will have to do? String dot value. So it will be converted to string and our value becomes sum 40 plus 20, 60. Clear? And then I am displaying it in the, using drawstring. G dot drawstring S. What is S? This string variable which stores this entire content. Clear? You could directly do it here, but it will be little complicated. Fine. Then what is 20? XY. That means left hand side distance. What is 100? Top distance. Y. Understood? Clear? Yeah. Quickly take down so that you do homework based on this. I'm going to give you these notes, but you may execute this in the lab also today. Fine. Already time. Okay. So passing parameters to applets. We accept parameters through which tag? Param. Remember, tags are not case sensitive. Whether you use applet small case or mixed case, it doesn't matter to HTML. So param also, whether you use small case or uppercase, doesn't make difference. Param tag. Fine. How to use it? Now this is a applet. Fine. Now the same program of addition of two numbers I am doing through passing as parameters. Fine. See here. How to pass the values through parameters. You have applet tag here. Fine. Pay attention. What is the class name I have given? Sum param. Down you can see here. Same thing I am using here, applet. Then width, height. Here before you close slash applet, we are using two parameters. Param tag indicates parameter. Again, before I close param ka starting tag, I'm using two attributes. One attribute is name of the parameter. So parameters are same like variable. What is the name of the variable I'm using? Number. What value I'm going to store there? 20. What is another parameter I'm using? Num2. What is the value I'm storing here? 5. Fine. And I'm going to add those through applet. See, how do I fetch these value from these name and from num1 and num2. Look at the applet. I have string s1, s2. Fine. Remember, whatever values we pass through parameter, they will be of the type string. If you want to add, what you have to do? Convert to integer. Then again, after addition, convert to string. Long process. Now see here. I have taken two string variables. Now here I am using init. S1 is initialized by fetching the value from num1. How do I fetch the value using get parameter? Get parameter from num1 parameter, and that value will be stored in S1. From num2 it will be stored to S2. In the paint method I'm going to add those, but for adding I'll take integer variable a and b. A will fetch the value from S1, but S1 is string. Need to convert to integer. How do I do that? Integer dot parse. Value came in A. Similarly, from num2, it went to S2, and from S2, it has come to B now, numerical value. Then I calculate sum. This part remains same. Clear? You may say, what change we did? We are doing in the program itself, right? But remember this part in second method, we can do it in HTML file. HTML file can be stored separate, which I didn't demonstrate you. So through that HTML file, user can pass the parameter. It will directly go to applet, which is stored elsewhere. And from there, you can control the execution. Clear? This is how your web pages also work. They may be accepting parameters from there and there. It's something like opening inbox is common code. Username and password, it will fetch from your login page. And it will open your own inbox to you. Clear? Something like that. Quickly take down this program. Execution remains same here also. And then you'll go directly to lab. Clear? Right on top, applet for adding two numbers that are passed through param tag.